because this is the kind of stuff that I won't face it towards you, but we knew that we understood that you guys were paying all the kids at home were at Hoban, and so all our life you told us put half of what you earn away so that you can pay for college someday, and
oh yes.
And so it wouldn't have come close, but
that went quick though.
Oh, it paid for our books. Everything that we would make during the summer barely covered our books.
That's right.
Because they cost so much. Anna's books come to over close to $1,000 a semester. Because
Does she buy them secondhand?
Well, she does.
The problem with the medical books is they're re-edited every 2 years, and then they're more expensive.
Yeah.
And you won't get the latest in if you get one.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the price of the book to start with are high because that is part of the income of the professor that wrote the book.
Oh,
Boy,
okay.
I didn't hear that, Dave.
The income, the cost of the books are high because the professor who wrote the book is the one that's going to be he's going to be teaching, and he can set that price where he wants to, and that's the money that goes for his
compensation and his program probably
right.
too.
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking that, of course, we never expected anything more than just our tuition and our room and board, because I remember even when I moved into the apartment that you said, well, this is how much it costs to live in the dorms for the 2 semesters, so this is how much you have for your apartment and your food, and that's just what I did, So our kids are kind of spoiled because we still give extra, like Anna, but Anna is frugal. She watches what she spends, and she keeps her own spending separate so that she can pay for her own jeans and her clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the cost of going to school is always so high. But you know what I remember? When Dave was at Notre Dame, you got a brand new car. And I remember that what your car cost is what it cost for him to go to school. And I thought, wow, and it was maybe $3,000 for the semester.
Well, what was that other car I had before this one, that Chevy that they don't make anymore?
Yeah.
The Impala, Chevy Impala, and then you had...
it wasn't an Impala, that's what I have now.
It was one above the Impala.
Yeah.
But they didn't make them.
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
It was a blue car.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a good car.
Yeah, it was
Huh?
pretty.
That was a good car.
It was
Yeah.
light blue and
Yeah.
white, wasn't it? White. Did it have a white top?
No.
No, light blue.
Light blue.
I think it lasted a
Lasted a long, long time.
I said it was going to be my only car, but something happened that couldn't be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised yesterday when I was driving your car. My car, all of our cars, I put on so many miles. And so I looked down at yours and it said 10,000 something, and I thought, no, is that the trip counter? And then I saw the trip counter underneath. So, you don't have hardly any miles on your car.
No.
Now I can't drive.
Well, someday I was thinking, boy, someone's going to get a good deal on this car, when you go to sell it.
It's only 7 years old.
Oh,
How many?
7 years old.
Uh-huh.
And it has 10,000 miles on it. Well, that'd be the kind of car you should probably, when you get to that stage, that it either goes to Dad, because his will have more miles. What does yours have?
17.
Okay, that's
How
still
ma-
good.
How many?
17,000.
How many?
17,000.
It should probably go to one of your kids or grandkids that need a second car.
Yeah.
Because that's a find.
Yeah.
Tuition is so high. And then now Ruthie was talking about trying to keep the amount of debt down for Colleen, so that when she gets out, she doesn't have all these loans. Ruth was talking to one of the other OTs, and she said she really wanted to go away to school, so she paid a lot of money to go. I think Ruthie said it was Northwestern, At first she couldn't remember, and then later she was talking. And so she took out loans, and she went to Northwestern, and then and she did her occupational therapy. And she's not making any more than like Ruth is making, and Ruth went to the state school,
Yeah.
And so now she has, Ruthie was telling me she can't, really high loan bills every month for the next 30 years. She's going to be paying all this money.
Yeah.
And she said if she did it over again, she wouldn't have gone so far in debt, because, and I mean, Dave and I, one of the reasons I think we do well financially is we always kept our loans down. Like you guys paid for our tuition. I don't know if I had any loans out, but you paid them if there were any. And then Dave had loans, but he lived at home, so he never had that room and board cost, And he only went to undergrad for 3 years at Marquette, and so that kept the cost down. And then he qualified for loans and tuition aid, so that kept the cost down. So we had bills, but I think it was $288 a month that we had to pay.
That was high in that time.
Yeah, because I think our rent for the month was $300.
Your what?
Rent for the place we lived in. So I mean that was a big bill.
Yeah, wow.
But we didn't have a car loan because we bought a used old car, and then our practice we paid over time for that, but we didn't go into much debt.
Yeah.
And then we always used old equipment until we could afford the new kind. So that really helps because otherwise, how do you get ahead? You can't save.
Yeah. In our situation, they had a Whitney Benefits out in Sheridan, where if you're going to go to school, you made up a budget and you presented what you thought you needed for the school, and if they approved it, then you got that loan. And you went through the 6 months after you're out of school, you start repaying, but there's no interest. So it's all interest free. Bill was the first one that took it.
That's still going in what?
Oh,
Sure.
they have two of them now. They're Whitney and Perkins. Fact is, Bill served on the board for both of them. Marita's on one of them now. Took Bill's place on one of them. Like, I had real heavy debt when I got out of school. I had it paid off by the time I got Fort Ord, California. I paid it off.
Wow.
But Bill used it, and Frank didn't go to college.
Yeah.
I used it. Austin used it. Ed used it. Marion used it.
Wow. That's nice to have that available.
Yeah. And they say they have two of those. And Bill set up the Perkins when he set that one up.
Yeah. I wish that there was more funding out there for kids,
Yeah.
But
There's the government, but as those medical students say, the interest is so high after you get.
yeah. It's, and like you said, it's hard to get ahead. You can make it, but then one of the things you don't realize is it sounds okay when you're young, but when you're young, it sounds pretty okay to have a loan, but you forget that you're going to have a car loan, and you have to come up with things like insurance and medical insurance, costs, and you have to live somewhere.
The smart people are the ones that buy the stocks and bonds when the market's low. And then they get good interest while they're paying their bills later.
Yeah. Okay, let's just turn this off, I think.